Hey guys, welcome to Nerdarchy for Nerds by Nerds. I'm Nerdarchist Ryan, and today I'm joined by the crew.
I'm Nerdarchist Ted.
Nate the Nerdarch.
Dave.
And today we're going to be talking, getting romantic here with Dungeons and dating. Sort of like how does relationships affect your gaming and vice versa.
Ooh, baby.
So I have two things to relate here. Number one, I've been married for over 10 years, and when my wife and I started dating, we discussed it, and I told her, hey, look, Saturday nights I game. It's been this way for over 10 years, so we can still do stuff, other nights of the week and this and that. But this is just as much a part of my life. I met her at a LARP, so she
reasonable expectations there. Yeah.
So she used to game. She doesn't tabletop anymore, but it was something that she was aware of that particular crowd, and she just said, okay, I can accept that and move on. And like I said, we're still together.
So I guess you really meant it.
So yeah. So the other one is, a friend of ours was actually in a tabletop game with her significant other, and they split up. Well, it wound up...
Who got the group?
She got the group in the divorce.
She wound up getting the group in the divorce, but it wound up tearing the group apart, because until things kind of settled, it was like, well, we really don't want to run this campaign until we figure out, are they going to get back together? Are they not?
They should have had two warring kingdoms of who they were, between the husband, the former.
They should have did an in-game divorce.
Yeah, that'd been great. Trial by combat.
I demand a trial by combat.
Yeah.
So it can definitely influence your group, whether both parties are involved in the gaming table or not. So.
Well, and also too, what had my mind on it was I play on it was every other week online game that basically this person's significant other the person's new to the hobby, who's playing a shit ton of RPGs,
And he had to go, sorry guys, I can't play.
Well, he had to scale it back because when you're in a relationship, well, theoretically that person's going to want to spend time with you and vice versa.
Guys, don't worry about it. It gets old after a while. It's overrated.
Yeah, right. The version with they're not all that special. No, so it's kind of important to negotiate those sort of things and figure that out in a relationship.
It requires a discussion.
Yeah.
And you've got to talk to them about it.
Yeah, well,
And actually tell them what you really think about a situation instead of be like, well, I could game less if you'd want me to, or whatever, or game this
or
time,
completely give up something I love doing.
Yeah, change my hobby because I don't really feel like, losing the person. So
we've all had people, especially over the years, where they get involved in their first relationship or their first couple relationships, and it's like, okay, I'm disappearing from the group because there's this situation, and it could be because, well, they want to invest the time in their relationship, or it could be because the significant other is very much not into it, doesn't care about it.
Sex is very powerful. All right, it is one of the most powerful enchantments you could possibly manipulate by, because unlike the wizard enchanter in this edition, you don't get to keep making saving throws.
Yeah, you're pretty much boned
in a good way. So yeah, it's a very very powerful thing.
Or you won't be if you do make your saving throws.
Right. Yeah,
also,
true.
I'd say not just the elimination of don't game because I want to hang out with you. I think it's also a time for reevaluation of what you do. Every time you have somebody that affects your life, like a significant other, there's a reason they're significant in your life then. So there's kind of a reevaluation of well, what do I want to do? What do I want to do every week? What do I want my weeks to look like? What do I want my time devoted to? So some people still say, nothing's changed in certain areas, like my desire to game or my desire to LARP or whatever the game is or whatever the time commitment is. So I think that also kind of goes into, you guys like to reduce it a lot of times to I got a girlfriend now, so I'm leaving, but that's not really, that's really two-dimensionalizing a really complex situation and decision-making process. So
hey, pal, justify it any way you want.
Exactly. In the end, Some people, it doesn't really matter, which is why you don't even really have the discussions with them. You just say you're not showing up anymore.
So we recently had somebody that we all know who used to interact with us a lot. They had gotten married, and I was talking to them, and they said they weren't gaming anymore, and it's basically because the person they just married, well, they don't really like it when I game. I'm like, but you were gaming before you got married. It wasn't like it wasn't like a surprise or a news flash, you know. Like, so that's the other thing that happens too, is like people kind of just change, or they expect you to change all of a sudden.
Well, we've even had someone's wife come to the table to say, well, what is this, all about? You guys have been gaming for, all this time. Is it really?
Are they really rolling dice, or are they going to a strip club?
Yeah, that's really comes
and it was kind of a shocker of like, okay, so this is really what you do.
You're not really going to a strip club like I thought you were.
Yeah, she said a little bit of a tear.
Yeah.
They're like, well, at least this one's not going anywhere.
Yeah. Like, if this is what he chooses to
He's
do
never
going
going to run off with a stripper.
Yeah.
Great. At least I don't have to worry
So,
about it.
and then, we've met other couples that game together.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
And apparently don't get divorced or separated.
yeah. We're married yet, but working on it.
Right.
Yeah, I actually don't
Negotiating.
really care for that kind of setup. I like the kind of like vacation from current life to go game.
Well, I don't know about that. There's something to be said for enjoying something together.
Oh, enjoying a hobby together? Yes, that's a benefit and a bonus. But I like solitary hobbies, or like I like to change.
Gaming's not really.
I like to
solitary
change
hobby.
the scene.
No, he means,
I wasn't finished talking, but I mean,
he means the break from, his family. He can come to game, and any relationship drama that might be there is not going to carry over to the table because his significant other's not involved.
She's not going to
Right, it'll carry over to a different hobby that you're engaged with together.
Yeah.
So you really don't eliminate the problem; you just shift it around. So like,
well, I do art and do a whole bunch of other stuff, and we have reading dates and work dates and all kinds of stuff that we do. So I don't feel.
Reading dates, you guys read to one another?
No.
It's like audiobooks, but like with Nate and the Dark's voice.
No, not
It's
not like
also-
the old school 1800s. Let's read Little Women together. No.
all I'm saying is, you don't have to enjoy this hobby together. I'm just saying people
Could.
do. And
Yes,
and
that is
do.
true. Yes,
Hypothetically.
absolutely.
Yes.
It is what I've heard and even witnessed on occasion.
Spoken in rumors in dark corners.
Actually, I would love to hear about the ladies out there who've had this problem on the reverse side of things, who they're dating guys that aren't gamers and aren't into it and give them a hard time.
Wow.
See what that story's like.
I'm sure it's a lot.
Please
lot
comment,
more
because
rare.
I don't know of any woman in a relationship that's a gamer
And
that,
the significant other is not.
Is not. Yeah, that's.
It happens. I'm sure it happens.
That's
It
not
has
it.
to. It has to.
Statistically, it has to happen.
Yeah. So she's like, I like gaming, but I don't want to actually date one of you fucking nerds. Come on.
Well, I think we put a ring on this one. So you guys can like, comment, subscribe, tell us about your past Dungeons and Datings and Dungeons and Drama experiences.
You can tweet at us at Nerdarchy.
You can also join the conversation over Reddit.
Hang out with us over on Facebook.
So until next time, stay nerdy.